See, they hit them peoples. What did ALC said in the beginning? She said, when it comes to them people, it's all about the Benjamins. We give them billions. I think it's, what is it? 20, 30 billion a year. As I've said before, we give them equivalent of 52 million each person in Israel. But yet they need more. They claim, and it comes later, that they've exhausted all their rocket money for this space squad defense. This is the greed of them peoples. You know, you can see commercials on this channel and others where them people saying it's poor of them peoples. That them peoples, this is how greedy they are. And this is nothing but their greed. It has nothing about anti-Semitism. What it has to do with is their greed. And some people finally said, we're going to put more money in America instead of giving it to them peoples.
Fellow world leaders during his speech at the UN yesterday. But strong arming from fellow Democrats in D.C. could alienate a key ally after progressives forced the House to cut $1 billion for Israel's Iron Dome defense system from their spending bill. Mark Thiessen is a Washington Post columnist and a Fox News contributor. Mark, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Wonder what he is. Look at that nose.
Wall Street Journal editorial board not too fond of this play, saying this: the funding was shot down because a growing number of Democrats oppose anything that would help Israel.
Obama gave them billions. Trump gave them billions. And see the greed? And let's remember what Pelosi said. Pelosi said that America would be burning and they would still get the money.
It promotes peace. Supporters of Israel should take note. If Iron Dome can lose Democratic Party support, then there is nothing pro-Israel that won't be in jeopardy in
This is propaganda for them peoples.
Congress. Your thoughts, Mark?
Yeah, this just shows the problem of anti-Semitism inside the Democrat.
See, you see how you can't talk about them peoples. This is their first defense anytime that loot get cut. Remember, look it up how much money they already get, but yet their greed never goes away. Look how much money they get from already, taxpayer money. How do any of them peoples over there deserve taxpayers' money?
I mean, let's not mince words. If you vote against the
Oops, melanated people in the picture, huh?
Iron Dome, you want Jews to die.
See, this is propaganda, and this is an outright lie of propaganda. This is an outright lie. Who's fighting them over there? They causing the issues. They have taken stolen land.
Simple. There's no other way to explain the vote. The Iron Dome is a completely defensive system that stops terrorists from killing innocent civilians with rocket.
Nobody calls them terrorists, though. You ever seen the videos of them going house to house? How do you have an enemy when you control almost 99% of the land?
In the spring, Hamas launched over 4,600 rockets into Israel. Most of those were taken down by the Iron Dome, which is why it's depleted and needs more funding.
They just got a big bump of money, and yet they saying they don't have any more money for these rockets. They just got a big bump of money already, and now they're saying they don't have money for the rockets.
But imagine what the civilian carnage that would have happened if those rockets had not been shot down. That there would be thousands of dead men, women, and children. And by the way, not just Jews, Arab, Israeli.
Now we know this is a lie right here. There were reports they just put out a bunch of them Hebrew Israelite folks. So this is propaganda.
Palestinians also are victims of these rocket attacks. So, you know, the idea that you would, the message that the Democrats are sending by voting this down, and
they must be panicking because he's spreading it on thick.
President Biden is sending by not calling out his party and demanding that this funding be included, is that we tolerate
Remember, this is American taxpayer money. Why do Israelis deserve American taxpayer money? Why is he capping so hard for them? You don't see anybody saying give money to the melanated people in these neighborhoods to fight CIA-backed, FBI-backed gangs. You don't see none of that, huh? We don't hear anybody screaming anti-melanated people when we see all this crime that's coming in our neighborhoods, the same drugs, the same kind of thing that's always been for the last 50 years? Do we? But yet here he is, demanding taxpayer money, begging for taxpayer money. And again, they the one peoples you can't talk about. You talk about them peoples and all of a sudden you're anti. That is their calling card. That is their lie.
Anti-Semitism in our ranks, that there are
these people standing up and saying, you've got enough money already. You've got billions already. Again, let me say, we have given them in the past year and a half the equivalent of 52 million each woman, man, and children in their country.
In the Democratic Party who hate Jews, who don't want...
See, this is again, nobody hates them peoples. Nobody hates them. They have been given enough. That's the point. You have been given enough taxpayer money and they still begging for more.
Don't want to protect them from terrorists who side with the terrorists against Israel, and we're going to tolerate them. And not only that, we're going to make Ilhan Omar the vice chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, the leading anti-Semite.
No, see, all she said is it was a bill there, and the bill was about the money. That doesn't mean she hates them peoples. She said the bill was about the money. So let's take it in context.
So apparently this sparked an urgent phone call from Israel's foreign minister to another member of House leadership on the Democrat side, Steny Hoyer. So this is an ally that is now very worried about here in the U.S. But as you mentioned, the members who are responsible for this leverage, for getting this measure out. And by the way, $1 billion of all they're talking about spending is like pocket change. So I'm not sure why the very targeted.
Fox is capping for him too.
At this specific.